Good afternoon, Music 203 students. Sorry that I cannot be there to see your smiling, shining faces on the first day of class, but sadly I have to be here, so don't feel too bad for me. But no doubt that you're in the good hands of one of my esteemed colleagues. I did want to make sure that I was able to introduce myself, at least this way, on the first day, just to talk a little bit about class and make sure that you knew exactly what you're getting yourself into. Before watching this video, you should have completed 2 class activities. The first of which you talked about why you're taking this course, you just introduced yourself, and tried to tell everyone your primary region of origin or primary nationality. I'll go ahead and answer those 2 things in my own way. My last name is Craner. My family is originally from a small village of Cranich on the English and Scottish border. I also have a lot of German and Scandinavian, so basically I'm just really white. Knowing what your primary nationality or primary region of origin is going to be important for your first assignment, which we will get to in a few minutes. Second reason, I can't say why I'm taking this class, obviously, because I'm teaching it, but I can tell you why I love teaching it. And it's mainly because I always learn something new. In the past, I've had students who lived in or from China, Russia, Scotland, and I learned something from each of those because obviously they have maybe a deeper understanding of those cultures than I can have from just reading because I haven't spent much time there. I'm hoping that there's 1, maybe 2 or more of you in this class this term that can help do the same thing, help teach class even when we get to the chapters or segments that talk about your region or nation of origin. Go ahead and turn to the syllabus to get that out. I'm not going to read over the whole thing. You could do that on your own, but I will touch on the major points. At the beginning of class, hopefully you stood up, gave your name, and gave some of the reasons why you were taking this course. I wasn't obviously able to be there to hear that, but now I can at least tell you what the class is and what it is not. Primarily, this is a discussion-based course, so you're going to need the book, which looks like this. That book comes with CDs. You're going to be expected to read the chapters before class, do the listening, or some of it, so that you're able to come into class and actually be able to contribute to a discussion. We're not just going to read the chapters in class, all right? Secondly, this is a music class, but it is also as much a sociology class. We're going to be talking about how music developed in different regions, why it developed that way, how it's different or similar than the music we're used to. So that's a huge part of class, okay? There's a heavy listening aspect to class. So like I said, the book comes with CDs. You need those CDs. Just a heads up, not all of the music is going to be stuff that you're used to. A lot of it might not be pleasing to your ear, but that's not really the point. The point is to listen to it and to understand the why, the how, what makes it different than our music. You do not need to know music theory or really anything about music to take this course. It's probably going to help, but I'm going to provide you with some vocabulary, some basic stuff, some language that you'll need to be able to use in discussions and then in tests. And you probably already have those handouts. We'll go over those a little bit at the end of the video. But again, you don't need to know music theory. You don't need to know how to play an instrument. You'll be fine. Office hours are Thursdays immediately following class. They are by appointment only. You need to email me the day before at least to let me know if you want to come in and make an appointment. Typically, traffic's pretty light up until midterm, which is where students usually realize that they probably need some extra help. So, fair warning, you might want to think about scheduling one in the first couple of weeks, just to make sure that you're on track. Grading. Not a ton of assignments in this class, but they're all important. The first thing you'll see is pop quizzes. It says 2. I kind of reserve the right to give more than that. These are basically meant to encourage you to come to class and to read the material beforehand. So it's a discussion-based class. Come ready to discuss And if you don't let me know that you're not going to be here, there's a good chance you're going to miss a pop quiz. Okay, email me beforehand, and you can get excused from a pop quiz. Okay, class participation is both showing up and participating in discussions. Again, I can excuse you if you email me ahead of time. The listening quizzes there's 3 of them. They're pretty straightforward, but they might be different than anything you've ever really done before. You have to listen to the examples in the book that are on the CDs, and I will basically do a drop the needle test, which means on the listening lists, which are on Blackboard, I will choose a few of those. I'll start them just in the middle of the song, and you'll be asked to identify the name of the piece, where it's from. Probably maybe an instrument that is involved in that. This will make more sense once we really get into the book and start discussing. Okay. On the second and third listening quiz, you will also be asked to identify pieces of music that we've never listened to that aren't on the CDs. You're basically expected to make an educated guess as to where that music is from. Okay. So, again, just paying attention to class discussions is going to go a long way with that. Okay. Textbook should be on reserve at the library. Hopefully one or more of you will check that out this week just to make sure. Email me if there's any issues with that. I'll make sure that that's good to go. Back to the listening quiz. Do not start listening to the stuff on the CDs the week before the quizzes. You will fail. I promise you that. Start now. Do a little bit at a time. You'll be just fine. Okay, midterm and final, the biggest portions of the grade. There are a mix of multiple choice and essays. I tend to lean heavily on essays. So again, if you just participate in the class discussions, you're going to be fine because the essays are based on what we talk about. Okay, the last 2 assignments. Your field research project is basically your class paper. Towards the end of class, or it's not due until towards the end of class, but basically you're expected to go to a live music performance. I encourage you to try to find something that you would not usually go to. So if you're a metalhead, go to a folk show. If you're into folk music, go to a metal show, or go see a DJ, or go to the Central Oregon Symphony, or something like that. Then you'll be asked to write a 3 to 5 page paper, around 1,000 words maybe, about the music you hear, about what you observe. So what's the culture of the concert? What are the people attending the concert like? Things like that. We'll get more into that next week, but you can also read that on this sheet. You can find it on Blackboard, and you should have it with you. It should already have been handed out in class. Lastly, the identity assignment, which is due next Tuesday. What you're expected to do is pinpoint your primary region or your nationality of origin. Okay. You will present for 3 to maybe 5 minutes next Tuesday on that area of the world and just some basic findings that you've looked at about the culture and the music of that area. I want you to find an MP3 or a YouTube video or something to bring into class just to demonstrate what music of that culture or that area is like. It needs to be maybe 2 pages long, the paper you will write. You need to have at least 2 sources. That could be interviewing family. It could be just going to the library and looking that up. And actually class on Thursday will be going to the library, meeting there, doing a short research seminar, and then taking the rest of that class time to work on your paper. Okay. If you have questions on this, just email me. It's pretty open-ended. I just want to know where you're from. Give me an example of the music. Tell me a little bit about that culture and maybe about your family. Okay. Don't freak out too much. It's pretty open-ended. Okay. Now the weekly schedule. I can tell you right now that this is not going to be totally accurate, but all the quizzes, all the assignments, all the midterm and the final, those are all going to be the same date. Some of the readings might be off. So for example, I think in the syllabus it says read chapters 1 through 3 this first week. You will not have to read those until next Tuesday, but I encourage you highly to have chapters 1 through 3 read by next Tuesday. There may or may not be a pop quiz when I return next Tuesday. Heads up. Okay. So again, read the chapters on the syllabus before that class. So if it says chapter 4 next Tuesday, you will need, or next Thursday, you should read chapter 4 before that. Make sense? Good. One small change I know for sure is that we will not get to sub-Saharan Africa until May 19th. So you might want to write that in, okay? Sub-Saharan Africa, May 19th. We'll spend a little bit more time on Europe, probably. Lastly on the syllabus, if you need extra help, let me know. And don't cheat. Pretty straightforward, all right? All right, lastly, let's get to these 2 handouts or other 2 handouts that you have in class. First one is Fundamentals of Music. This just goes through different vocabulary terms you'll need to know, and I want you to spend a few minutes after this video with the substitute just to go over these and make sure you have a starting, kind of just starting to understand what they all mean, okay? Spend 5 to 10 minutes on that. Secondly is the Listening to World Music handout. Once you have a handle on some of those vocab terms from the last sheet, you could start going through here and discussing that. You might want to do that a little more on Thursday, or we can spend some time on this next Tuesday in week 2. Okay, but make sure you have both of these and spend a little time now going over them, especially the vocabulary sheet. All right, so can't wait to see you next Tuesday. Hope you have a great day today, great first week. Look forward to meeting you. Again, if you have any questions, email me. I'm not there, but I am. I will respond to email. All right. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.